In this video, I'm going to be talking about the ACL. What is it? And most importantly, why is this small structure so frustrating? So let's go. Thanks for checking out the channel. My name's John, head therapist here at John W Sports Injury. Thanks for checking us out. If you are new here, what we want to be doing is three simple things. Help you to understand your body, get rid of your pain so you can be getting back to the sport, exercise and well-being goals that you want to achieve. Haven't subscribed yet? Make sure you hit that subscribe button so I'll keep you updated. But the ACL, what is it and why can it be so frustrating for anybody who suffers an injury there? Well, what it is our anterior cruciate ligament. What does this mean? Well, our cruciate ligaments are two ligaments that we have that live on the back of our knee. And anterior just means front. So the front of those two ligaments is our anterior cruciate ligament. So what do these cruciate ligaments do? Well, they are crucial in controlling the stability of the knee. And in the case of the anterior cruciate ligament, it has a role to play in stabilizing us in this direction. So what do we have going on here? Well, the knee joint is made up of the femur, the upper leg bone, joining the lower leg bones of the tibia and the fibula. And in particular, the ACL comes into play when we have the movement of the top bone on these lower bones. So when our ACL is working absolutely fine, it's preventing the femur from moving too much upon the lower leg bone. But we can damage this structure, and typically how this may happen is if the lower leg bones get fixed and then we have excessive movement beyond the control or the stabilizing features of that cruciate ligament that can cause it to damage. So we typically see this in twisting movements, excessive loading movements. So sports like football, rugby or skiing are common examples of where we may damage the ACL. So if we put that into context, if we imagine a skier who's skiing down the hill, but they then take a tumble, but the ski becomes fixed in the ground, the foot is stuck into that boot, and then we get that rotation, we can see the strain that places upon this ACL. And unfortunately, as a result, damage can occur. Or we imagine a footballer who looks to twist suddenly in the movement, but their boot gets fixed on the ground or might be fixed in a tackle. The example that I'd like to give is the example when Virgil van Dijk, playing for Liverpool, had his leg fixed by Jordan Pickford trying to tackle him, fixed his lower leg and the upper bone rotated, and that's where we get the damage at the ACL. So what does this mean if we get a damage to our ACL? Now, with any type of ligament injury, then there are different levels. So we can lightly damage this ACL, and that's something that we can rehab relatively quickly. But unfortunately, when it comes to the ACL, it is very common to have a full rupture of the ACL. Now, what this means is that the ligament effectively breaks. Now, we have a very poor blood supply to this area naturally, and as a result, it is most common for this to have to be repaired surgically in what we call a graft, where a surgeon will take a part of a structure from perhaps somewhere else in the body, the knee or the hamstring, to form a graft for that to allow the ligament to repair. And this can also happen from a cadaver. But what this means is that it can be a slow process, and this is why damaging of the ACL can be very frustrating, because our typical rehab time is about 9 to 12 months. As a result, when somebody damages their ACL, the first decision we need to make is this surgical intervention something that we want to undergo? Now, if somebody wants to return to the sporting field and there's somebody who needs to change direction, load the knee excessively, have these cutting movements, then that is the route that we tend to go down. If somebody's looking to come back to a relatively sedentary lifestyle, perhaps they've finished their sport and dynamic sport journey, and as somebody who likes to just stay active but isn't required to be doing these changing of direction, sudden sharp movements, then we can make a decision to look to just strengthen the knee around the area, and we can ultimately live with the fact that we have a damaged ACL. But in most cases, if we're wanting to return to those sport exercise goals, then actually surgery is something that takes place. And this is our first port of call. But what we must then do is respect the rehab time that is required to return to the sports and exercise goals. And this really is about 9 to 12 months. We always used to talk about 9 months. But actually, we know even with the surgical intervention, unfortunately, the risk of reoccurrence is still around 8 to 10%. And as a result, we want to give it the appropriate time for the graft to take, the ligament to be re-strengthened, and so that you can return to the sport field knowing that the knee is stabilized in order to do its role. So ultimately, we tend to be working with people on about a year's rehabilitation time. Now, talking through the complexities of a ACL rehabilitation program can take a very long time, too long for this video, because it should be individualized. We should be looking at exactly what stage you're currently at and ultimately what you're looking to return to, so that the program can be designed to allow you to be returning to doing exactly what you want to do. But roughly speaking, if we've come out of surgery, the first thing that we want to be doing in the early stages, the early months, is making sure that we're restoring the movement, the amount of flexibility we have at the knee, removing or reducing the swelling, and ultimately making sure that the pain post-surgery goes away. As the program develops, we want to be making sure that we're making the knee strong. The muscles that are there to protect the knee, we want to make those as strong and ultimately as stable as possible. Then, making our way through the program, we need to encourage changes in direction, making sure that the knee can move in all three of its planes of motion. Firstly, we want to make sure that it can move front and back. Then we talk about moving side to side, and ultimately in the later stages of the program, we start to retrain the knee into rotation. Then for any rehab program, we want to also have a dynamic stage at the end of the program. Can we get back to being able to plant our foot and rotate on it safely and the ligament to do its job? So I hope that's been helpful. What I wanted to do in this video was get across what the role of the ACL, or the anterior cruciate ligament, actually is. We hear about this a lot in the press. We see this happen a lot to professional athletes, but I wanted to make you clear on why this small structure can be so frustrating. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. This used to be something that perhaps was a career ender for professional athletes because of the complexities of the rehabilitation that I've talked about. But the good news is we now know more about how this structure works. And most importantly, we know how to rehab it effectively. And we are able to bring athletes back to where they were before and even stronger. As with any injury, what I always say is that if we are away from the sporting field for a period of time, we can double down on the things that we do. So we work with athletes of all ages, all abilities, looking to get back to either professional sport or even just recreational activities, and we take that time to double down on the other areas, and we can ultimately come back stronger, come back fitter, come back hungrier than we were before. So it doesn't have to be bad news, but also I do want you to appreciate that this is an injury that will take time, is frustrating, but should be respected as you make your way through any rehabilitation program goals. If you're somebody who's suffered this and you're watching this video, you may well have questions due to the complexities of the things that I've discussed. Hit me a comment below and I'll look to come back to you on that one. But if you found this to be helpful, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, why not hit that subscribe, and then I'll be seeing you on the next video.